good morning, YouTube viewers, good morning, Facebook Nation. Good morning to all people, all colors, all languages, all races around the world, men, women, children. May each and every one of you have the most beautiful day humanly possible. And as long as the goals that you set forth for this day includes all of humanity, may those goals come to fruition. And good morning, even though it's afternoon. Like I said with my channel, I'm always say good morning because that's the most nicest thing, best thing that you can say to a person in the morning, because that's when our batteries first, after recharge, when we sleep, our batteries are at full strength, and to push that positive energy, it makes a difference in a day. And hopefully that's something that, you know, we can all do for one another, because it does make sense. But we live in a world where that's not true, because we know that once we step out, whether we step out to the job, whether we step out the door, you know, go into our neighborhood, whether we, you know, step into, you know, anywhere that we walk or anywhere that we drive, anywhere that we go, we know that, you know, the chances of having a beautiful day are slim and none. So we have to navigate our way through, you know, each day. So today we're going to talk specifically to the women. We're going to talk specifically to you, and it's because, you know, this video is not for, all right, let me give you an example of who this video is for. All right, there's two types of women in the world. Okay, now we're, you know, we can, if, you know, we're my age, so we can all look back when we were younger. And, you know, for the guys out there who might be watching, you know, as well as for the females, have you ever been with someone or dated someone who, like, started something just to start something, and you're the one that has to toe the line? So I'm using myself as an example, even though I didn't stay in this relationship. But you know, I remember one time I was dating this female, and the female, you know, no matter where it was, if we were out, you know, having dinner, or, you know, out anywhere, any social gathering, you know, for whatever reason, there was always, you know, she always had something to say about something. And there's one specific time where, you know, we were at this event, and she just started going off on, you know, these guys that, you know, she felt disrespected by. But here I am, I'm just one person. Although, you know what I'm saying, I know that I can handle myself. The incident that caused this was so far minute that, you know, rightfully it should have been my place to say, yo, you need to calm down. But, you know, we always do that respect thing and say, well, maybe she's got a legitimate reason for, you know, speaking up. So that's one type of woman where, you know, she doesn't mind putting you in danger. You know, everything is about her, and danger, it doesn't matter. You're going to be the one to protect her, even though it's 5 against 1. You know, so those are not the women that we're talking about. Now I'm going to talk about a different female. So the other female was like just cool, calm, collected, everything, where, you know, where I would step out the box, where I felt like we were being disrespected, and she was the one to say, you know, look, you know, bypass this. If anything, let's go somewhere else. Where else you want to go? Matter of fact, I don't want to eat here. You know, and these are the women that I'm talking about. So today, this video is specifically for you. So it says today's another segment of it is part 7, which is laws of nature govern existence, and today's discussion is female queens. So before I get into female queens, because I'm going to name a few, hopefully, you know what I'm saying, they won't find a problem with it. But you know, I encourage anyone who watches this channel. I know a lot of people come into the channel and they go through other venues. Those venues don't give me the credit for it. But then again, like I said, this is not what this channel is all about, you know. And quick point, there were 2 subscribers just subscribed to my channel. Please, whoever you are and anyone else that's out there, do not subscribe to this channel. Come into this channel, get the information, and go. You know, it's not a channel where I'm trying to be social, even though I'm a social person. But I'm a person that I deal with face to face, because I'm an old school type person. So when I put out information, I put out my knowledge, it's not to be debated. It's for you to take it and to find what you can use for your life, or how you can look at things in a different way, and then go from there. If there's nothing that you can relate to, you really shouldn't be on this channel. And that's another reason why I turned off the comments, because it was like, you know, dumb to dummies. I'm not going to be dumb for dummies. So that's just not going to happen. So let's get into this topic. So first, I want to say the reason for this channel is to greet all people, all languages, all nations, all over the world. for everyone, because this is what I truly believe. This is what I truly want. I want peace and love for everybody. Okay? Many may feel that morning motivation is to tell you what you want to hear. Yeah, be you, own it, you got this. Yeah, it is that. But it's also explaining the world that we live in. You know, this world is a real world. It's not a fake world. And in this world, every day, no matter what your color is, you're going to deal with, even if you're European, it does not matter. You're all being oppressed in your own way. So we face on a daily basis, we face discrimination, we face hate, we face violence, we face propaganda, we face lies, we face misconceptions, we face staging, we face diversions, we face oppression, and we face crime, along with the good things that we face on a daily basis. So the reason I reach out to all people is because our oppression is far worse than many cultures. So when you hear this, when you hear me speak on different subjects, even though I want love for the world, I do know and am aware that our culture gets treated far worse. And I had this conversation with a female, she's from India. So I had a conversation with her today, and I said, you know, when you look around and you see all the, you know, the stores and stuff, we call them bodegas, but they're like the little corner store, gas station, stuff like that. When you look around, you see that, you know, a lot of people who came over from the Middle East, you know, they own these things. I said, so why are they still angry with black people? You know, and when you look at the housing market, black people aren't the ones that's buying up the houses. Black people are not the ones who are buying the businesses. Black people are not the ones who are moving up, that have come here. And they've superseded us, even as far as people that came over from Mexico. When it started out, they came, they would hang out in front of Home Depots. Now, they got credit lines inside Home Depots. And still, you hate black people. Your problem was with black people when so many other races are outdoing you. And when I said this to her, she was like, you know, wow, you're right. And I said, it's because we live in a world where a bully has to have someone to bully to show the rest of the world that if you mess with us, then the same way that we're treating these people, we're going to treat you. So I just want to leave that part at that, because that defines it all the way down to the letter. So I want to go on to the women who make us great, the women who bring things together. Because remember, even when you go back to the first literature that was ever written, was written about a woman. So whether, you know, it was Eve who bit into the fruit, or it was the fallen ones who came down and spoke to Eve to make her go into this fruit, they came and they spoke to the women. They spoke to you. And the reason that they spoke to you women is because they understood what your maternal makeup was all about. They understood that you had something that man did not have. But what has man done to corrupt it? So this is why I have to say I give thanks to those women out there who don't condone. They stand for what's right, no matter the color, no matter the race. Because one of the things that I've learned throughout the years and throughout my life is that some of the most racist institutions in this country are the medical field, the medical care service. Some of the most racist. So but that's not the only one. So, but I'm just talking in this line. So, you know, to see people in positions that are there to help people, there to save lives. We can go medical, we can go justice, we can go political. That is there to help people, to bring people together, and to save lives, are some of the most bad institutions that we can even think of. So, what I want to say to, you know, the women that are out there, what it takes for us as men, is not only as a black man, but as men, period, to change, is going to take you, because you're the ones who make things happen. You're the one who, you know, who was that, that movie, The Leprechaun, where you get mad and run around and be like, yo, who took my gold? It could be one coin, but he would knock out a whole village. Who took that coin? Just to put that coin back in the thing. So, to get back to what we were saying, what we're talking about is how can women change the process. You know, what can they bring to this process? Number one, like that leprechaun, that if something's missing, they're coming, they're going to say something about it. And, you know, they're going to get things back in order. And they're not leprechauns, a lot more beautiful than a leprechaun. But what it takes is, number one, it's going to take honesty. And, you know, you have men out there that are doing it, but men, they shut us down. They shut down messages that are coming from men when they speak directly. You know, we can have channels talking about home repair, auto repair, sky jumping off the moon, and those things will go viral and we'll all get rich. But when a man turns around to say, hey, you know, this, what we're faced out here in this society and the world that we're in, there's something that's not right, and, you know, these things are wrong, and we want to say something about it, you get shut down, you get criticized and everything else. Whereas women, more people tend to listen to what a woman is saying over a man. I know that sounds kind of biased, but go into any social media site and do the math for yourself. So it takes honesty. So I want to mention 3 women, and these are actually only the 3 women I followed, and I've been, you know, doing YouTube for a little over a year now. But these are really the only 3 women that I follow. Number one, because they're honest in what they say. Number two, they believe in what they say. And what many people, many viewers may not understand is that they have something in them that has love for all of mankind. But they're first and foremost is trying to correct what's in their own houses. So the first one I want to talk about is Melly Monaco. And Melly Monaco, I found her site just like going through videos, and it had popped up. And she's someone who, you know, she's telling guys, not, well, there's Danica too. There's Danica too. But I think with Melly, I think that Melly is more grounded as to how things operate internationally in a world view type of what her channel encompasses. Whereas Danica, to me, is more based here in the U.S. And so Melly, that's awesome, you know. And I think that, like you said, you know, to say about your channel that, you know, to teach men that the tricks of manipulation that a female might use, or how to look at different situations, how to correct things in yourself. It says that, you know, you really want the best for all, and you're not promoting a channel to say, hey, just bang, 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 bang. You know, it's more relationship focused. Danica as well, but like I said, the differentiation between you and Danica is yours is a worldview. Because I've dealt with women from around the world, I understand this, and I understand a lot of what it is that you're saying in your videos. You can't understand that if that's not who you are and how you operate. So for that, I have to say, Melly, you know, thumbs up. I'm supporting you all the way. And then number two, when we look for honesty, there's another woman, and her name is Queen Nengo II. And Queen Nengo II is trying to unify the African nation. And I agree with it. I agree with what it is, and I agree with her approach. And except there's a variation, because she feels like there's a Black Lives Matter, you know, situation, and, you know, she feels that we should give them some leeway, you know. But the thing with me is where we differentiate. Everything else is good. This is where we differentiate. Black Lives Matter didn't come from this woman. None of these organizations are coming from the people that you are seeing these movements come from. These people are hired like a script. And when, you know, to Queen, this is to you. If you have the chance, go and look up Kamala Harris staging the community meeting with the youth. Staging it. Not talking to regular people, talking to paid people, kids. So this is what, you know, you may not understand this process that's taking place here, but it's taking place all too much. And I can say to you straight out that when I was in New York City during the George Floyd protest, I had to cross borders. I had to sneak into the city, because remember, it was a state mandate that you could not cross borders, right? But the thing was, when I seen this, when I got there, the person that I saw, this is in an earlier video because I explained it, you know, in detail, was a person who was causing trouble and had a gun on him. And when I saw what this person was doing inside that crowd, inciting police, I left. And I've stood for many other events where it came to oppression, all the way back to when I was 13, 14 years old, when the riot with the Ku Klux Klan in Meriden, Connecticut happened. It was my cousin who started that off, and we were together. He brought me there. So I've stood for justice. I've stood in some of the most bloodiest battles that have ever taken place when it came to civil rights. So I'm here and I'm saying that I'm a person who's been through it. And I know when something is staged. And for every one of those events that came during that George Floyd process, a lot of those incited riots were incited intentionally. If you don't believe that, then ask Kamala Harris to explain why she had to go out and present something that was supposed to be her, and all the kids in the community wanted to sit down and talk to her, then to come to find out that they were paid actors. So let's know the world that we live in. But my heart is still with you. And this is why my heart is with you. Because you want to unite a people. You want to unite the African nation. And I agree with you. I completely agree with you. And, you know, for the battles that you face, where you have people who, you know, they're like, well, you know, I don't know nothing about over there, so why am I going to leave here and go there? And this is something that you can say to those people, because this is how I see it. I question myself to say, hey, you know, if there was a boat going back to Africa right now, would you go? And I'd be like, man, well, I'd be like Lot's wife. I'd be like, well, you know, this is all I know. Why would I want to go back there? But that's where I was taken from. You better go back. I was getting ready to use the N-word, but you better go back. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where you're from. Everything that's in me from day one, from birth, is Congo. This is where I'm from. I am from the Congo. My DNA says Congo. This is where my father's DNA is Congo. Now, on the opposite side, this goes with what's going on in the news today about, you know, who discovered America, who was in the Americas. And I remember a radio broadcast, and the guy was saying, oh, you know, I got this blood in me, I got Native American blood in me. That, you know, so, you know, just because the Africans said that they were here, you know, who's to say? We all got that DNA. Diversion. Diversion. What we saw with Kamala is staging. Now we talk about diversion. So diversion is what you just heard. So let's get right with this. My mother is 86% Scottish. 86% Scottish. And it wasn't one test. The first test came and they did not believe what was on the DNA. So they were like, wait a minute, there's a mistake. You know, can you send another sample, or we can take another sample from this, and then we're going to run it again. And it came back the same. So for the people that's out in Scotland, how can my mother be 86% Scottish? And you want to believe that that's your land. So, you know, we can go into all this into we're blue in the face, but at the end of the day, we know that we were here for a long, long time. And we know that a lot of what we, you know, a lot of our history, a lot of our knowledge, number one, or number two, the pyramids. How can you have pyramids coming out of Africa that supersede the pyramid that went into Kemet, which is Egypt, which is Kemet? So we see that, you know, all these things have been changed. A lot of our past has been destroyed. So for that, Queen, I'm there with you. I wish to be a part of, you know, your kingdom in Africa. I would love to be a part of it. I wanted to say this, though, before I go on to the last person. You have made a comment about, you know, we need people. We need people to make phone calls. We need people, you know, for paperwork and other things like that. I have to say to you, Queen, for everything that you do, and to make a statement like that, you've already invited, you know who to come in, and they will come. Because we, again, from the beginning of the video, we're not the ones who's buying up all the property in the United States. We're not the one who's operating the majority of the businesses in this country. We're not the ones who have the greatest say-so in this country. There's other minority groups that have far exceeded us and far outdone us. So why are we still hated by the same group of people? And the same things that they talk about the border are the same things that they attribute to us. They weren't able to, they said, we're not going to do this with the Mexicans at the border, but we'll do it with the Haitians. We got to get in the army for them, but not for the Mexicans. So you have to understand what we're up against. And this goes, and this is, again, it goes for all women of all colors who are around the world who are watching this. It's because, you know, you're seeing this played out. And for those women who are not black, you're seeing these things played out on a daily basis. At what point does someone say no? I'm no. I got kids. I don't want them to be treated like how you're treating these people. But no, we live in a world where people will sit back and say, well, hey, as long as it ain't happening to me. Well, guess what? When COVID came out, now it is you. Because now it's happening all over the world at the drop of a hat. People are walking into their jobs. People are pulling people over on the roads. People are pushing people in front of trains. And there's no color involved. None. So it's this that time. And, we have to say whether we believed in a higher power or not, that time is here. And for Queen, the fact that you're pointing out so many variations of how we've been brainwashed and manipulated, that's key to bringing people back. And on that, I'm with you all the way. So lastly, I want to go to the Crimson Cure. And with the Crimson Cure, you're there, I'm all the way. All the way, by far, all the way. Because it does take that mother figure. I was talking to a friend of mine, good friend. Her name is Blossom, and we were talking about this woman that we knew when we were growing up. The woman that was from that neighborhood. No matter what, no matter whose kid it was, she had something to say. If they had to deal with discipline, hey, don't do this, hey, don't do that, or you better get back. I'm telling your mom. That was the most beautiful thing. We don't have that anymore. And with Crimson Cure, we have that. We have that that's going to say not only to, the men and how they're doing, because she don't condone things that bring women into that cipher where, it causes that type of reaction, where women just off and run with it. But she's also aware of the brainwashing and the manipulation that is going on, as well as all three women. The brainwash, the manipulation, and the over the years, trillions of dollars spent to, continue these lies and to continue the oppression. And, for Crimson Cure, for you to be able to, call this out and to say, hey, women, don't, it doesn't matter, if Susie jumps off the bridge, you ain't got to jump off the bridge after Susie. And if Susie wears that tight dress, you ain't got to put on the tight dress because Susie got on the tight dress. And that's what we need to hear, and that's what we need more of. So, for you, I'm thankful on that, because it's about time real speech came. And, with Crimson, what I want to leave this with you, too, is, think about it. If take Oprah off of the international stage that she got, because we all know who backing this woman, and Gayle King, her flunky. But fair use, educational purposes only. I could be thinking a little loosely, but fair use only, educational purposes only. So imagine taking her off and putting you in her spot, or on any spot. Imagine all the viewers that you would have. Imagine all the people that would be influenced by what it is you're saying. So this is the wall that we're facing. For all three women I just mentioned, that's the wall that you're facing. And you're facing that wall is because you're bringing awareness. We know we're up against a narrative, and we know that we're in a world where it's a battle. And to have these queens that I just mentioned, it's a blessing. And there's other queens too, and they come in different nationalities. I want to name one that's white. Her name is V, or European. Her name is V. Always was right there. She sees things for what they are. Miss M, she sees things for what they are, and she's Hispanic. But she wants the best for all people, and these two women have been influences for me. And then lastly, Besa Clara, who is minority as myself. She's black as myself, and she's there. One of the most nicest people that you can ever meet. But she's practice in motion. What she speaks, she practices. So for these three women, each in their own individual ways, they do things that far outreach people in a far greater way. So there's many women that I can go down the line and I can name who have been influential to me, but I needed to get that out for those women, because at the end of the day, we have to support this. And for me, I put this out there, I have to support you. So I want to thank all the women around the world who haven't been mentioned, that feel that same way. We have to, put our foot down. We have to stop condoning, the status quo. And, what I want to leave you with is, for the women, that if you believe in a higher power, then did your higher power make a mistake? Because if your higher power made a mistake, if there's a fish that shouldn't be on the earth, or a tree that shouldn't be on the earth, or a plant that shouldn't be on the earth, or a star that shouldn't be in the atmosphere, then your higher power is imperfect. So I don't believe that our higher power is imperfect. I believe he created exactly what it took for us to work in harmony and for us to work within balance, which ends with the women, because you are our balance. You are our anchor. So therefore, you know, how you nurture us is important for us. Like other people that are out there who are not as knowledgeable, who don't see something outside of themselves or as a cause to fight for, whether it's justice, whether it's truth, whether it's morals, whether it's values. You know, we're not living in that time, and it's up to you ladies to bring, you know, bring awareness to those men out there who are not seeing it in that sense, who think that everything is money, money until you die, but yet still you got 4 kids. You got 4 kids. Now money, 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 your attitude, now things are far worse, as when you go money, 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 it gets worse, 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 and then your kids are left to fend, and then their kids are left to fend. So I just wanted to say thank you, ladies, and I wanted to say thank you for what you bring to the table. And that's the laws of nature. We need queens. We need real queens. But we also know that, you know, they're out here now where they're paying, you know, these women to degrade themselves. They're paying these women to, you know, make our youth corrupt in mind and everything else. We know this. So we're far and few, but together we stand, you know, as well as with the guys. So maybe tomorrow I'll do, you know, the guy version of what I did today. But to the ladies, thank you. And Blossom, I had to come out with Blossom. Blossom, thank you too. You know, you show what real women are about, and that you do have understanding, and that's awesome. And I'm glad for you. So ladies, as well as men, all languages, all colors, all peoples, men, women, and children, may you have the best day. May you have the most beautiful day. And for whatever goals you have set forth for yourself, as long as it includes all of mankind,
Humankind.
may those goals come into fruition. And with that, everyone, peace.